biggest mistakes that people do when they move to Florida is not preparing themselves for the hurricane season. And this video will cover how to prepare and how to face hurricane season and be ready for it and what to expect. All right, before we dive into this video, my name is Alek and I'm real estate business here in Southwest Florida specifically. And if you have any questions or if you're thinking to move here in Fort Myers area, anything in Southwest Florida or around the Fort Myers area, give me a call. There's my calendar there link as well that you can schedule a call one-on-one with me. There's also my website as well, information as well. You can find all my social media platforms. But anyway, let's dive into the hurricane season, right? What to expect and what's happening. Southwest Florida, it is not a stranger to hurricane. As you guys know, the Hurricane Ian that hit us lately, that was pretty bad, right? At the end of September of 2022, that was devastating. It took many lives, it took many homes, it damaged a lot of areas here in Southwest Florida. So the hurricanes, it is not a surprise. It is something that part of Florida. It's part of this lifestyle out here, but we all getting ready and we're all getting prepared. So like again, don't be surprised when you hear there's a hurricane coming your way. The hurricane is unpredictable. You don't know when they're gonna end up, and they are crucial to Southwest Florida people that live in this area or anywhere in Florida, I would say. But this channel is about Southwest Florida and we want to talk about that. And let's, like I said, let's prepare ourselves and get ready. Maybe take a notebook and do the checklist and make sure that if you're seasoned here or if you just moved here, because we see a lot of people moving here and a lot of people underestimating the levels of the hurricanes and they think it's all fun and games until something bad happens. All right, so let's dive into the video. Let's go. The most important thing is understanding the levels of the hurricane, the categories of the hurricanes, right? So level 1, the hurricane, it's usually up to 97, 95 miles per hour winds. And then you have category number 5, which is 157 miles per hour winds. So you need to understand which category it's coming away and how to be ready and prepare yourself for the category that it is coming, when it's going to make the landfall and when it's going to come in the area that you live in specifically. And again, so they go from 1 to 5. 1 is be the lowest, 5 is be the highest. All right, that's number 1 thing that we need to understand, which different categories. And the category 1, it's the biggest one, it's the smallest one. And then category 5 is just the biggest one where you have to watch out. So now you know the categories. Next step is understanding that with hurricane, it's usually going to have a heavy rains, it's going to be flooding, there's going to be damage at the roads, it's going to be damage to infrastructure. And you need to understand which area you live in, if it's a flood zone, if not as flood zone, and being prepared and take all the steps necessary as bringing sandbags, blocking your doors, blocking your windows and stuff like that. And for example, even getting if you're in an area where it can be a flood happening, probably put a chainsaw. But again, if you're at that point, I would recommend you to leave. But understand, it's the weather is going to be very, very nasty, and those going to be very heavy rains. Flood might come into the area, especially if you live by the river or live by the canals. You gotta watch out. You need to understand that and be ready for that. All right. Another thing, besides just the floods and damages, there's also high winds which can damage the power lines. What that means? If there is no power, your refrigerator is going to be damaged. The AC is not going to work, right? Not damaged, but all the food is going to defrost, right? So if there is no power, you got to be ready. Maybe getting a generator. That's very good advice. I have one in my house. Many local people have a generator because during that hurricane or after the hurricane, to find one, it's really, really, really hard and it's challenging. You might have to travel to get one. A lot of people just go use their neighbor ones. But that's important part of having the generator at home, because the power will go out most likely, and sometimes it will shut down because somewhere power line went down. And again, it depends which category that is, and we'll dive in more deeper about that. But understanding that and knowing that there could be power outages, and you might go for weeks, it might go for a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of days, it could be a couple of hours. It depends on the strength of the hurricane and how the damage that created on the path I was passing through it. So we talked about the floods, we talked about the winds, right? Now let's talk about the power outreach, right? Water and food. You might want to have some MREs, the meals ready to eat. Those military brands, you can buy them on Amazon. You can find them in some stores to sell them as well. And water. It's one of those things that you must have in a house, stuck up to have for a couple of weeks. It is fine if we're gonna lose power for a couple of days only, but it's better to have the water in the house and some gasoline in the house than not to have it, right? So those things is very important to have during the hurricane, guys. You need to understand that if you have shutters, put the shutters up on the window, and don't be that lazy person that, I don't want to put it. I personally, in my family, this will say, category 1, category 2, we stay in category 3, we'll be okay. Category 4, I'm putting the shutters up, especially if it's getting closer to 5, definitely shutters up. And it's 5, I'm leaving the area. I'm gonna pack my stuff and we're gonna leave the area because it's gonna be pretty crazy winds. It's gonna be you don't know what to expect coming out of it. And if you have small kids at home, I definitely leave the area. Well, if you don't even have, if you live in the flood area, please don't stay home. Leave the house. Find a way out, and don't think that the next morning, for example, the Hurricane Ian that happened. A lot of people stay on the island and they thought, well, next morning, because the hurricane is supposed to be hit us about 2 p.m. and I can leave in the morning. Why should I spend a night somewhere else and pay the money for the hotel? Or I can just stay in my house and early in the morning just leave the area. When they get stuck. They get stuck because it came in early. The winds started picking up very heavy. Some of the bridges were closed, so people cannot leave the area. So it's very important understanding, preparing yourself, blocking the house, blocking the front door as well with the plywood if you have it. If you have bigger cars, some cars put in garage and other cars just put it not the way you park usually, but diagonally, basically blocking the garage door so the car will get the most of the wind. In this case, better to get your car damaged than getting that garage door blown in with the wind and ripping the roof off, and then off the roof goes and the water goes inside the house, more damages, and it's more scarier, right? So those things are very important. Getting the generator, right? Getting gas in the house, getting water, getting food in the house, and blocking the house from the winds. Not blocking it for basically something can hit it, but that too. But it's another one. The important part is it sucks it out, because it creates the vacuum when the hurricane coming. It's in the air, there's a vacuum that just sucks things out. If the window breaks, it's a high possibility that it's gonna suck all the sheetrock out and it's gonna blow in the house and rip out the roof, and then it's gonna be a lot more bigger damage to the house than it needs to be. So don't be lazy. If you have the shutters up, put the shutters up, block your house. And then again, if it's category 4 or 5, probably be a smart idea to leave the area. And again, they do happen not very often, but we do have every year, we do have a hurricane season, we call it, right? So it happens, and we're ready for it. But that's part we have to pay when living in Florida. In conclusion, I just want to add on a few more things. Also get a chainsaw, have a chainsaw, first aid kit in the house as well, emergency route, which we're gonna take and try to escape if you have to leave pretty fast. But again, if if you're in the middle of it, I probably would stay in the house. But then again, have that emergency route if it needs to go that route, if the hurricanes start picking up. And the chainsaw, I might say, what do you need a chainsaw for? If you have trees by you, so you can cut your way out of it, or if the floods are coming in, so you can cut a hole in the roof, so you can get on top of the roof, so the coast guards can come and get you, or the first responders can come find you easier. That's very important. But anyway, I hope you find this video very helpful. That will prepare yourself for the hurricane season. I hope you get some advice from this thing. If you have any questions, or if you want a list of all the items that to have in the household, preparing yourself for the hurricane season, should comment below. I would love to share with you documents, everything that I have in PDF file, that you have the checklist and being ready for that hurricane season. Just in case, we don't know what's gonna happen. There's different categories, different risks with each category. So anyways, again, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe it. Don't forget to like it, share it, hit the bell button. That way you'll be notified when there's more videos coming about Southwest Florida, because this is a channel we'll talk about Southwest Florida, different towns, different restaurants to go see, different communities. And again, thank you so much. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.